Hello, and welcome to Great Sleep. Get ready to listen and relax. Today I'm going to tell you a cozy bedtime story about an interesting walk through the rainy streets of New York. Sarah Thompson stood at the entrance of the cozy bookstore, her gaze fixed on the rain-soaked streets of New York City. The pitter-patter of raindrops hitting the pavement created a symphony of sound, filling her ears with a soothing melody. She loved rainy days like this, when the city seemed to slow down and people sought refuge in cafes and bookstores. At 30 years old, Sarah was an aspiring writer with a penchant for introspection. Her part-time job at the bookstore allowed her the flexibility to pursue her passion while immersing herself in the literary world she adored. The bookstore was a haven for bookworms and dreamers alike, its shelves lined with stories waiting to be discovered. Today, however, Sarah had decided to venture out into the city, to explore its hidden corners and diverse neighborhoods. Armed with a small notebook and pen, she was eager to capture the essence of the city through her writing. The rain only added to her excitement, as it seemed to transform the bustling metropolis into a canvas of colors and emotions. With a sense of anticipation, Sarah stepped out onto the rain-soaked streets. The misty air wrapped around her like a gentle embrace, creating an intimate connection between her and the city. The gray sky above seemed to amplify the colors of the buildings and street art, bringing out their hidden beauty. Each step she took brought new inspiration, and she eagerly jotted down any ideas that came to mind. As Sarah walked through the city, she couldn't help but be captivated by the atmosphere that the rain had created. The streets glistened with a subtle sheen, reflecting the neon lights and vibrant signs that adorned storefronts. The scent of damp asphalt mingled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafting from nearby cafes. The sound of raindrops hitting umbrellas and splashing onto the ground filled the air, creating a soothing rhythm that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the city. Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, allowing herself to be enveloped by the symphony of sound. It was as if the rain had washed away the noise and chaos, leaving behind a sense of tranquility. With each passing minute, Sarah felt more connected to the city. The rain seemed to strip away the superficial layers, revealing the raw beauty that lay beneath. She marveled at how rain could transform even the most mundane scenes into something extraordinary. A simple alleyway became a portal to another world, its cobblestone streets shimmering with an ethereal glow. Sarah's footsteps echoed through the quiet alleyways as she meandered through different neighborhoods. She was drawn to the energy and diversity of the city, each street offering a new perspective and a fresh burst of inspiration. The raindrops fell gently on her face, mingling with her own tears of joy. As she walked, Sarah observed the people around her, taking note of their unique stories and experiences. The city was a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds, each person adding their own brushstroke to the vibrant tapestry of New York. She saw artists sketching in parks, musicians playing on street corners, and writers scribbling in notebooks like her own. Each encounter sparked a new idea in Sarah's mind. She would pause, her pen hovering over the pages of her notebook, capturing the essence of the moment before it slipped away. The city was alive with stories waiting to be told, and Sarah was determined to be their conduit. In a narrow alley, Sarah's attention was drawn to a street musician sitting on a weathered wooden crate, his fingers dancing across the strings of his guitar. His music was melancholic, resonating with a depth of emotion that touched Sarah's soul. Mesmerized by his artistry, she couldn't help but pause and listen. As the last note faded into the air, Sarah found herself drawn towards the musician. She approached him with a smile, her eyes shining with appreciation. "That was beautiful," she said softly, her voice barely audible over the rain. The musician looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. A weathered smile played on his lips as he replied, "Thank you, miss. It means a lot to hear that." Sarah's curiosity got the better of her, and she asked, "How long have you been playing?" He sighed, his gaze turning distant. "Feels like a lifetime. Music is my solace, my escape from the struggles of everyday life." Intrigued, Sarah leaned in closer. "Tell me more. What struggles do you face?" The musician's eyes met hers, and she saw a flicker of vulnerability. "It's not easy being an artist in this city. There are days when it feels like no one sees or appreciates what I do. But then there are moments like this, when someone like you stops and listens. It makes it all worth it." Sarah nodded, her heart swelling with empathy. She understood the artist's struggle, the constant battle between passion and self-doubt. "Never stop playing," she whispered, her voice filled with conviction. "Your music has touched my soul today." With a grateful nod, the musician returned to his guitar, his fingers plucking the strings with renewed vigor. Sarah watched him for a moment longer before continuing on her walk, the melody of his music echoing in her mind. As Sarah walked through the rain-soaked streets, she couldn't help but reflect on the fleeting connections people made in a big city. Each encounter held the potential to inspire, to change lives in ways both big and small. She marveled at the way a simple conversation could leave an indelible mark on one's heart. The rain seemed to heighten these connections, washing away the barriers that often separated people. It was as if the city had been given a fresh start, a chance for strangers to come together and share moments of vulnerability and understanding. Sarah felt blessed to be a witness to these fleeting connections, knowing that they would forever shape her writing. With each encounter, Sarah's sense of purpose grew stronger. She yearned to capture these moments in her work, to immortalize the beauty and struggles she witnessed. She believed that through her writing, she could bridge the gaps between people, fostering empathy and understanding in a world that often seemed divided. As Sarah walked through a tourist-heavy area, she noticed a lost tourist standing on a street corner, a map clutched tightly in their hands. Their brows furrowed with confusion as they scanned the bustling streets, searching for a familiar landmark. Driven by empathy, Sarah approached the tourist with a warm smile. "Excuse me, are you lost?" she asked gently. The tourist looked up, relief flooding their face. "Yes. I can't seem to find my way back to my hotel. I've been wandering around for hours." Sarah took a moment to study the map before pointing out the correct direction. "You're just a few blocks away. Let me walk you there." Gratitude filled the tourist's eyes as they nodded eagerly. "Thank you so much. I don't know what I would have done without your help." As they walked side by side, Sarah couldn't help but strike up a conversation with the tourist. They shared stories of their travels, their laughter mingling with the sound of raindrops hitting their umbrellas. By the time they reached the hotel, a bond had formed between them, however brief. The tourist turned to Sarah, their voice filled with genuine appreciation. "You've made my day. Thank you for your kindness." Sarah smiled, her heart warmed by the connection they had made. "It was my pleasure. Safe travels." With a final wave, Sarah watched as the tourist disappeared into the hotel lobby. She stood there for a moment, reflecting on the power of simple acts of kindness. In a city teeming with strangers, a small gesture could make all the difference. Taking a moment to observe the cityscape, Sarah marveled at the beauty that surrounded her. Each street seemed to have its own personality, its own story waiting to be told. The architecture varied from towering skyscrapers to quaint brownstones, each building adding to the city's eclectic charm. Sarah's eyes were drawn to the vibrant street art that adorned walls and alleyways. Murals and graffiti seemed to come alive in the rain, their colors intensified against the gray backdrop. Each brushstroke told a story, an expression of the artist's soul. The people going about their daily lives added to the city's tapestry. Sarah observed businessmen in tailored suits rushing past street vendors selling hot pretzels. Families strolled through parks, children laughing and splashing in puddles. The city was a mosaic of humanity, each individual contributing their own unique piece. As Sarah continued her walk, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the intricacies of the city. There was beauty in every corner, waiting to be discovered and immortalized in her writing. Seeking shelter under an awning, Sarah noticed a homeless man huddled against the wall, trying to shield himself from the rain. His clothes were tattered, his face weathered by hardship. Moved by compassion, Sarah approached him, her heart heavy with empathy. "Excuse me," she said softly, her voice barely audible over the rain. "Would you like an umbrella?" The homeless man looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. He hesitated for a moment before nodding gratefully. "Thank you, miss. That's very kind of you." Sarah handed him her umbrella, a small act of kindness that seemed to brighten his day. As they stood there, raindrops falling around them, they engaged in a brief conversation. The homeless man shared snippets of his story, his voice filled with both pain and resilience. "I used to have a family, a home," he said, his gaze turning distant. "But life is a way of knocking you down sometimes." Sarah listened intently, her heart breaking for the man before her. She couldn't help but wonder how someone could end up on the streets, their dreams and aspirations crushed under the weight of circumstance. With a grateful smile, the homeless man handed back the umbrella. "Thank you for your kindness, miss. It means more than you know." Sarah nodded, her voice filled with determination. "You deserve better. I hope things get better for you." As she continued on her walk, Sarah couldn't shake the encounter from her mind. The homeless man's story lingered, a reminder of the struggles that often went unseen in the bustling city. She vowed to use her writing as a platform for change, to shed light on the untold stories and give a voice to those who had been silenced. Seeking refuge from the rain in a nearby cafe, Sarah sat at a corner table, her notebook open before her. She took a moment to reflect on her experiences, the encounters and observations that had shaped her walk through the city. The rain continued to fall outside, its steady rhythm providing a backdrop to her thoughts. Sarah sipped her coffee, its warmth spreading through her body. She was grateful for the respite, for the chance to gather her thoughts and process the emotions that swirled within her. As she looked back on the encounters she had had, Sarah realized that each one had left an indelible mark on her. The street musician had inspired her with his resilience, reminding her of the power of art to heal and connect. The lost tourist had reminded her of the importance of simple acts of kindness, of the impact they could have on someone's day. and the homeless man had awakened a sense of empathy within her, a desire to make a difference in the lives of those who had been marginalized. With each encounter, Sarah's sense of purpose grew stronger. She yearned to translate these moments into her writing, to capture the essence of humanity and the beauty of connection. The rain outside seemed to echo her determination, its steady drumbeat urging her forward. Leaving the cafe, Sarah stepped back out into the rain with a renewed sense of purpose. The encounters she had experienced and the observations she had made had reignited her passion for writing. She felt a deep gratitude for the city that had inspired her, for the moments of connection that had touched her soul. With each step she took, Sarah embraced the rain, knowing that it held the potential for new encounters and unexpected inspiration. She allowed herself to be guided by the rhythm of the city, following its twists and turns with an open heart and mind. She was ready to embrace whatever awaited her, eager to weave these experiences into her writing and make a lasting impact on the world. As Sarah walked through the city, she became increasingly aware of the importance of capturing these moments in her writing. She realized that through her words, she could immortalize the beauty, connections, and struggles she had witnessed. Each encounter held a story waiting to be told, a message waiting to be shared. With each step, Sarah's pen danced across the pages of her notebook, capturing the essence of the city in vivid detail. She described the rain-soaked streets, the vibrant street art, and the people who crossed her path. Her words breathed life into these moments, allowing them to live on long after they had passed. Sarah knew that her writing had the power to touch hearts and evoke emotions. She believed that through her stories, she could bridge the gaps between people, fostering understanding and empathy in a world that often seemed divided. With each word she wrote, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, a conviction that her words could make a difference. With her notebook filled with ideas and her heart brimming with inspiration, Sarah continued her walk through the city. The rain fell gently around her, its touch a reminder of the connections she had made and the stories waiting to be told. She embraced the raindrops as if they were blessings, knowing that they held the potential for new encounters and unexpected inspiration. As she walked, Sarah was reminded of the power of connection, of the ability of a single moment to change lives. She was humbled by the stories she had heard and the emotions she had witnessed. Each encounter had left an indelible mark on her soul, shaping her writing and fueling her desire to make a meaningful impact. Sarah was ready to embrace the journey ahead, eager to weave these experiences into her writing and share them with the world. With each step she took, she carried with her the stories of the city, the connections she had made, and the beauty she had witnessed. The rain continued to fall, its steady rhythm urging her forward as she embarked on a new chapter of her writing journey.